Hello, this is episode 5 of my repottings for 2024. This one is basically its first repot because I bought this. You can see that it's still in its nursery pot that I bought it in. It's a blueberry bush. The variety is Peach Sorbet. It's supposed to have some pretty leaf color in the fall. All these leaves that are on it right now never fell off from last year, even though it was in my cold room hibernating. It did not hibernate. It really didn't get that cold this year for winter. I mean, it really didn't get that cold. This is my first experience with blueberry bushes, so I also know that this is actually a very hardy tree. So that is another reason why our winter didn't seem to have much effect on it at all. So I'm going to get it out of this pot, and I have a feeling that I may have either... I may be able to separate this into a couple of different trees. I don't think it's all one. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some trimming to remove whichever branches I decide I don't want, or whichever potential trunks I don't want. These rocks I stuck in here right when I got it a year ago because I wanted to push these branches up a little further. It was really flattened out. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of its pot. Oh yeah, it's coming right out. Easy peasy. It's like a pretty organic soil as usual from a garden center. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, I'm so strong. I can lift this thing. Okay, that's a little bit of a better backdrop to see this tree. Let's see what we have. Well, we have roots. Rock. Let's see in here. Nothing. Pretty solid all the way through. Lots of fine roots. I'm just trying to remove some of the mass so I can get a better look at what's going on. piece of bark. I'm not seeing any grubs or other bugs at this time, so that's awesome. I get a little concerned when I start bringing in new trees that haven't been with me for a long time. Like the corkscrew hazel I did last episode. Well, there's certainly roots. Just not sure how many trunks I'm going to have. This is my first time doing a blueberry. I saw some of the other bonsai people doing it about a year or two ago. And so I bought one. I bought one last spring. And like a good girl, I did not attack it right away. And I kept it for a year before doing this. So this is its first time. Ground zero for this blueberry. Definitely a lot of really fine roots with whatever kind of soil mix these people were using. Unfortunately, this rake with these little square-ended, edgy, it's basically like a regular dinner fork folded over. I'm not loving it. I would prefer if these were cylindrical or tubular, all rounded. I think it would be much nicer for the tree. I'm sure this is far easier to make, but I may have to investigate something else. There's a lot of roots here. Like, they're very tight. And very fine. I don't know if this is good or bad for this tree because it didn't go dormant like my other trees usually do, and it's not a tropical. So I don't see any real new growth, maybe a little couple spots, but it looks like some other leaves may be opening. But I don't want to wait another year. By then, this thing would be dying because there's so much roots in here now. I can't imagine leaving it any longer than it already waited. And it's not going to need most of these roots where it's going, which is into a grow pot. I have a few different choices for my grow pots. Some are just repurposed containers from around the house, and then I have some others that are like a little leveling up on the grow pot. I have training pots, the tie pots, and some other stuff that I just found at the store that's not really a pot, but it's similar to the pond baskets, but just in a different size. Get you, and not get myself with this fork. 3 times is a trident, but this one would be a very bent trident. This is all just bundle of roots. I mean, it's kind of like a Brillo pad. It doesn't even want to loosen without just coming off. We're going to hold off on this for a second. Get rid of this dirt. Okay. These roots are just kind of growing every which way, so I'm just trying to loosen them up. Figure out who goes where to this little... There's some trunks that are woody in here, some that are not. Getting into the heart of it now. Still not seeing any insects or anything. That's fantastic. What do we have up here? So not going to need that chunk. This side here. I'm afraid to take off any of these new shoots yet because I don't know which one of them I might end up using. I might prefer one of them to one of the older, gnarlier branches. You never know. Oh, there we go. Let me get a look. This looks pretty solid. I think this is 1. When I picked it out at the nursery, I kind of thought it was going to be more trunks in here. But instead, it seems to be one very large trunk. I can't even get in there. Go away this direction and see. Oh my goodness. Yep. Ripping out a lot of roots. The last of this soil out of here. Try to see the bottom. Try over here. Oops. Okay, we got a funky trunk. A bunch of this was just going to have to get cut away in order to make any kind of progress here. This and here. Oh. Okay, that's as much as I want to damage that. Let's see. Let's see. Woody. Green. Just starting to get woody at the bottom. And then this. This is all one base, as far as I can tell. So, what do we want to keep and what do we want to get rid of? And I'm going to say this is the first thing I'm going to get rid of. Well, hold on. First I'm going to get rid of this. And we have sticking up. I assume this one in the center is not going to stay. And I nip it off here. But maybe I'm not, because I can't get in there. Just so I can see a little better. I am going to, since this looks like it is truly a single trunk, I think I just put, oh, that's dead anyway. Let me get the dead stuff off. I can see a little better. I think it's one trunk, so I'm going to go ahead and get it in a pot, and then worry about the top of it. This is dead. Anything? Some hair is dead. This may or may not be dead, but it kind of looks dead. This black one in here. Oh, that's pretty. Let me finish getting cleaned up, and I will come right back. Okay, I'm back. I cleared out some more of the root ball, mainly just looking for branches that grow straight down or crossing branches so that I can get them out of here right at the start and have less trouble later on down the road. And some of these are just kind of long anyway, so I have to remove some anyway. This one's actually growing down, even though I wanted it to grow out, but it's not going to do it, so gotta get rid of it. This section I'm leaving. There's a lot of still fine roots there, so some other areas are going to need help. Right here, the majority of these roots are kind of descending down. Some of them a little more firmly than others. They go out. Now this one right here wants to just be going straight down, so I'm taking that one out. I looked over my pots. I have like 3 choices. Some of the pots that I was considering, I thought I was going to be breaking this tree up into smaller trees, and that's not the case. So I have a choice of 3. We'll take a look at those in a second once I give these roots a final look through. This one's growing up. Let's try and get it to a root that grows down. This one's growing sideways. Again, another one with a big elbow in it. There's a couple more down here that are really heavy and growing straight down, like this one right here. So I'm going to take it off back up here, and maybe it will grow in a better direction. This is not a tree I have a whole lot invested in right now, so I can be a little bit more willing to take chances in some of my other trees that I've had for quite a long time, and I am really not wanting to lose any of those trees over a silly mistake, so. These are pretty long. I don't think they're gonna split out to the side as much as I would like. This one might. This is not gonna. Let's see. And I'm gonna take a look at the bottom. Oh, sorry, I'm not in frame. Every time I move the camera. So here's kind of where I'm at. So here's one that's growing strongly down, so it's going to go. Up. Yeah, I think we're going to leave it there. Get this today. Let's see how it looks. There's sections that have quite a bit, and sections that really don't have anything. But it's somewhere to start. Now, my pots. A Tide pot that has holes in the sides and in the bottom. this pot, which I would have to drill holes in, because it doesn't have any openings yet, but I can take care of that pretty quickly. Or this, which is a colander, has tons of holes, and is going to grow pretty shallow. I'm not sure which I would rather do. Do it in this one. Or do it in this one. This is a little more snug of a fit. But I'm going to be cutting back some stuff on top, probably. This might give it more room. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to rule this one out because it's a little deep for what I want right now. I'm concerned that this one may dry out more than with all these holes, I'm a little concerned this might dry out a lot in the summertime. Or I cannot stay in frame. This. The whole lot needs to come off the top. But the size of the root in the pot, it's got a lot of room. This one is just flatter a little bit, but it's a lot wider. I think I might just be growing more roots than I want to do that. So I'm going to go with the training pot. And I'm spritzing these roots because they look a bit more dry than I want them to. I'm going to go get some soil. Alright, I'm back. I'm going to use this Tide pot. I have put lava rock in the bottom. Take up a little room down there and make sure it gets drainage for the summertime. And then I'm going to use the Scenic Hill Farms Nursery small size bonsai soil mix. This is turfus, pumice, and lava rock. And from what I was explained, the turfus, Turface, is basically like the American version of akadama. Obviously not a one, maybe not exactly apples to apples, but it's more local to me, easier to get, and as far as I can see so far, it doesn't crumble down quite as easily as akadama does. So I'm going to get a little layer of this in here on top of the lava. I'm going to get it mounded a little bit. And this. There's still some organic material in here, but since this is only the first time it's ever gone into a training pot or anything, I'm just going to go ahead and not fuss too much with that. Because I think this is like a bulky thing going on under here. And I think that for the sake of the tree, I would wait another couple years and then worry about getting in there and really going at it. There's some surface roots here that may die back just because they're probably going to be more exposed. And these clumpy roots I'm just leaving to feed this tree because it didn't really lose all of its leaves. So I don't know if it's going through any kind of a normal dormancy at all. I may have to trim these a little smaller anyways, because they're not going to fit the pot. I think I'm kind of liking starting new bonsai in round pots. It gives me a chance to see what develops before I have to pick a front, because I don't do well with my choices in picking fronts of trees. See, I'm going to be needing some rocks to hold this in. And it looks like I'm going to need a new bag of this soil for my future trees. Working that soil down. And packed in there. Support this tree. And then I'll probably stick some rocks like I had under it before that kind of just helped keep it in place until it takes a little better root. Working that soil. So one nice thing about having small fingers, it does come in handy for stuff like this. I can feel what's happening when I use my fingers in a way that I cannot do when I'm using chopsticks or the rake. I can't get a connection of what's going on under there. I can't feel it. I'm not even going to know. Oh, you guys are missing the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I cannot keep this thing in frame. I'm going to edit some of that, I think. Or try to. I'm sorry. I've just been working this thing away, and you guys couldn't even see it. This may be a multi-trunk tree, possibly my first multi-trunk tree, since it ended up not being several trees. So this should be interesting. I already see some branches that I will probably want to keep. The others, I'm not sure. It's not exactly dead center in the pot, but that's okay. It's where the roots need to be. They're in the right place. Okay. I'm going to have to look for some heavier rocks. I think this one's heavy enough, but it's flat. Oh, look at it. Hug right there. Wonderful. Crawling all rocks, I need some assistance with the tree. Any rocks want to step forward and volunteer? I may have to scrounge some out by the pond tomorrow morning. So, this is what it looks like. I need to water it, and I think I will save the trimming for another video. I'm going to have to take some time and really look at this tree and get some ideas. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys watching. Sorry that I wasn't in frame. I have to work harder at being in frame. It's going to look pretty interesting. All right, see you next time.